So let's talk about how I played the Jessica piano solo on guitar. Alright, so the whole thing's in A major, really. Mostly A major pentatonic, F sharp minor pentatonic, all that kind of stuff, kind of the blues scale a little bit too. The rhythm behind it is all just A to D, So it's going to stick through pretty much all the A major and kind of minor pentatonics at times too. So I'll divide this into some phrases. So at the beginning, it's this. So that's going to start off kind of like where the F sharp minor pentatonic is at the 14th fret, so like this shape. Right? So it's going to start on A, which is the 14th fret of the G string, and do this kind of cool walk up. So on the G string, 14, 16, 17, and then on the B string, you're going to walk up chromatically 14 to 17. Right? Okay, so, and then slide here, so you're going to go 13 to 14. Okay. Then go down to the G string. Okay, so that whole phrase right there. And then you're going to have these cool kind of double stops after that. So it's going to be at the 16th fret on the G string and the 17th fret of the B string. And you're going to kind of hammer on the G string the 18th fret here. Right? So overall it becomes this. I'll do it slower again. So that's the first phrase. The second phrase is this. So up top on the E and B string, you're going to have it on the 17th fret, and then you're going to hammer on the 19th fret of the B string. And go back down to this other double stop we had before. That's the 16th fret and the 17th fret on the G and B string. So. Back down to the 14th fret on the G. So, kind of a lot of similar phrases in there. Okay, so I'll go back. Those first two phrases are this entirely. Second phrase. Part of it. Alright, so the second part is what I like to call sequence scales. So basically taking your F sharp minor pentatonic, your A major pentatonic, and doing it in 3-note sequences. So the first one sounds like this. Right? So it's going to start on the E, which is at the 17th fret of the B string, and just going to basically, I guess, go up the pentatonic scale in 3-note grouping. So the last one you're going to do is once you get to the E here at the 14th fret on the D string, that's where it's going to kind of go out of it. So that same double stop from previously, which is at the 16th fret on the G and the 17th fret of the E, or rather the B. Yeah. The second sequence scale kind of is more the A major pentatonic, so it's going to start on the 17th fret of the E string and do the same kind of 3-note grouping. So that's how that thing ends there. So basically I'm going to stay in one position initially, start moving down, so that one goes. The next ones I think are a bit more challenging because you have to kind of catch this like double stop at the beginning of it. It's kind of like that really bluesy thing. basically you're at the 19th fret of the B string and the 20th fret of the G string, or 20th fret of the E string, sorry. So you kind of have this kind of nasty thing there, but ideally you want to kind of get that to ring initially and then kind of pull off, like to get this at the top. You know. That same double stop from before. So you'll notice a lot of those patterns, like with the double stops, you know, they're repeated from a lot of previous phrases too. It's kind of a good way to build up musical ideas, to repeat things and, you know, develop them a bit. So yeah, that's the sequence scales part. After that, there's this cool kind of repeating thing. It's kind of like a weird timing thing. It takes like a minute to kind of get your head wrapped around it, but basically it's going to repeat it 6 times. So it goes like this. So the last time just has that one kind of variation just to kind of finish the phrase, let's say. So the first 5 times it's going to sound like this. So you're going to start on the 14th fret of the D string, right? So just right out of the pentatonic scale. You're going to jump up to those double stops from before, right? So that's the first part of it. Second part of it's like this. So it's just straight into it. So overall it becomes this. And on the last time, it's like this. So basically you're going to do that same double stop at the 16th fret and the 17th fret, and then you're going to move the G string back to the 14th fret, keeping your pinky down on the B string still. And that's how that one's done. So next we have this kind of interesting octave melody. Pretty much most of the time this goes straight up and down the pentatonic scale. So this is where knowing your notes in the A major pentatonic is really going to help you out. So it's going to start with an octave on the A, which I'll do at the 12th fret of the A string, and then the 14th fret of the G string. So assuming you know how to do octaves the whole way through, it's basically just going to run up the scale. So right? So basically, so it's going to be like, I'm just going to call it from basically the top note. So basically it goes 12, 14, go up a string, 11, 14, and then up a string, 11, 14, and then literally just go back down. And then now you're going to jump down to the 7th fret of the A string to catch this E. It's going to kind of walk up from there. Right? And this is kind of a tricky one. You got to be kind of fast. So then there's this high part all the way up here. Okay, so that one just takes a little bit more listening since it's just really just going up and down the scale a little bit. The last part of this is this kind of bluesy thing, which I think is one of the more challenging parts of this whole solo, honestly, especially on guitar. Just fitting these kind of piano riffs onto the fretboard is kind of wild. So basically, I'll kind of divide this in a couple different phrases too. So let's start with just the first one. Right? So this is a thing that, you know, piano players do all the time. They'll kind of grab the root note and kind of go from the flat 5 to the 5, like that. Right? So in this case, it's going to be 17th fret up on the E string, and then you're going to slide from the 16th fret to the 17th fret in the B. So kind of similar to that opening riff of the solo, you're going to kind of go back down chromatically. And then slide. Right? And then... Actually, it's... So... That's the first one. You'll repeat the thing at the beginning again every time, basically, and then there's a variation after it. So the second one is this. So this one's pretty challenging. So after doing that phrase, you have... So it's kind of like... I was just like an E minor kind of thing, but not really. So you're going to do kind of a similar thing where you're going to kind of grab like the flat 5 into the 5. So that's going to be the 16th fret to the 17th fret on the B string, all while holding down the 15th fret of the E string. Right? So, and then you're going to do like the classic blues thing. So that's going to be double stop on the 19th fret of the G and B string, and then grab the A right below it on the D string. Right, so then we're at the 17th fret, and you're going to hammer on the 16th fret on the G string. Right? Then it's going to kind of come down the scale here, so it's going to be the 19 to 16. So 19, 16, 19, 18, 17. I kind of hit an open string. And then come back here and slide from 15 to 14. Or sorry, 15 to 16. So overall that one sounds like... Okay. The next one. This one is rough. So basically same opening as the rest of them, and then it goes into this. So I kind of end up barring this whole situation. So I have the A down here on the G string at the 14th fret, hammering on, or sorry, rather I'm barring the 17th fret of the B and E string, and then I have to hammer on with my pinky on the B string, the 19th fret. Rough. You got to do the best you can, keep everything kind of ringing. It's brutal, but that's what it is. Alright, and the very last one. Just octaves down. That's all it is. Just right down from A down the pentatonic scale. Yep. Alright, good luck learning it. That's all the parts.